Okay. And I forgot. Okay. Share screen. Okay. And you see the screen again. Why kids cheat? Yes. Okay, here we go.
Why do you think students cheat? Sometimes people have a hard time learning and they don't want to accept that, so they just cheat.
I think either he didn't have time or he didn't want to study.
They procrastinate or they don't study and they want to get a better grade than they deserve.
I think it's the pressure of them having good grades, and I feel like students feel sort of comfort when they have something written in a paper.
It could be that they're lazy or they just don't believe in themselves.
Yeah, I wonder what they'd say if the teacher wasn't there.
I don't know.
Ethics, I'm pretty sure it's like the how you do something.
Ethics is working.
Oh, good and bad?
Oh, you were so close. So ethics are guidelines that help you make decisions between right and wrong.
If they don't know that cheating is wrong, they need to be told this.
I think kids know cheating is wrong, Biomini. I'm pretty sure they do.
For a way that they will know what's right and wrong in school for later.
How do you think knowing the difference between right and wrong keeps students from wanting to cheat?
If they know what's wrong, they know they could get in trouble, and they don't want to do that.
Because if you know what's right from wrong, basic principles that your parents taught you, you should know that cheating should be never allowed.
Well, you have to know, like, it's the right thing. You have to think about it. If it feels like the wrong thing, you shouldn't do it.
What would you tell a friend who's wanting to cheat?
Well, I mean, if it was my friend telling me that they were going to cheat,
Sorry.
I would tell them not to.
I'll just be like, hey, you shouldn't do that because that's very serious. I would tell them to maybe talk to the teacher, ask them to explain.
I would say that it's not worth it. It's not worth it because it's going to affect you along the way, especially in college.
That to just
Okay, I don't know why it's bugging out, but I think you got the point. So I found this fascinating from the children's perspective. We're going to start with the definition of ethics. Ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means way of living. It is generally stated as moral principles or guidelines which help someone make decisions with regard to human conduct. So it's really interesting how ethics and cheating go together and etiquette and manners go together, right? Etiquette was a set of guidelines that we follow for behavior. Ethics, really, it's the difference between what is accepted as right or wrong behavior. And here's how I define ethics. It's what someone's doing when no one's looking. When you're doing the right thing when no one's looking, right? So why now? Why is Ms. Hensel addressing this issue now? I don't think it should come as a surprise to you that kids cheat. Have you seen kids cheat in the classroom? Can you tell me some ways they cheat?
So they just so I saw one person they took this, they put on a sticky note, they wrote the answers and then they were copying it down on the test.
Can this device help with cheating? I mean, whoa, the list is long. Looking up answers, texting someone the answers, literally giving someone the answers, taking a picture of the test. I saw the coolest thing, I have nails. And these are actually my nails. I just have but I saw somebody had these really long nails and the answers were underneath her nails. And I thought that is so genius, right? I mean, kids are genius about finding ways to cheat. Why? I don't think it's a simple question. Why do kids cheat? And your generation did not invent cheating. but your generation are the worst cheaters, probably in history. What's going on? Wow. I think the pandemic did not help. Did online learning make it easier to cheat? I mean, really easy to cheat. And was anybody looking while you were online, right? Do you think kids took advantage of that? Yeah. Okay, so we kind of have the perfect storm here. We have a pandemic, we have a switch to online learning, cheating rises. We have cell phones and our dependency has increased, cheating is rising. And then we just have more disciplinary and behavioral problems than ever before. Okay, so what is academic integrity? And let me be clear, it is a commitment, even in the face of adversity. If you were in my classroom, even in the face of adversity would be highlighted. And I love that exception. That's when kids cheat. When everything's going well, kids don't cheat, right? I didn't sleep well, or, we had something going on in our family. I had a late soccer game. There's a pandemic. When things go wrong, that's when I think kids start to slide. So what are the 5 fundamental values of academic integrity? Honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. Those who show academic integrity rely on their own merit. It's that simple. They complete homework on their own. They study for tests relying on their own knowledge. They refuse to help others cheat. They refuse to share answers, and they write their own answers without copying text. And I can tell you, Viamini, so many kids have walked through my door and plagiarized. Not because they're going, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to plagiarize. They literally plagiarize because it sounds good. And it sounds better than anything they can come up with. Okay, well, there's something you can do with that. You just quote them and give them credit. That's okay. To quote somebody that you think you can't say it better. That's what you should do. So what is academic dishonesty? Any action that gives a student, and I love this word, unearned advantage over another. Of course they didn't earn it. They cheated. The lists for academic dishonesty are long. Looking at someone else's answers, texting another person's answers, taking the picture of the test and sharing it. I like this one. I think most kids have done this one. Making up a bogus excuse for a missed assignment to gain extra time. And we don't really look at that one as cheating, do we? But I think a lot of kids do that. Plagiarizing from the internet or copying parts of text. Collaborating with others to finish assignment when it was intended to be individual. And this one is the one that gets murky. Purchasing an essay written by someone else. Believe it or not, Viamini, kids do that in high school and college. Impersonating another to take a test. This has happened on the SAT. That's why they require kids to have a student ID, so the picture matches the person. Padding a bibliography. What does that mean? Okay, so what that means is if your teacher says you need to have 7 sources, what she means is you should use each of the 7 sources. Well, what kids do is use 1 or 2 sources and then claim they use the rest. So they write down all 7, but they only use 2. Does that sound like something a kid would do? Yeah. Fudging laboratory results. Oh, forging or altering documents for a resume. And we're talking college applications here. So if in doubt about academic integrity, produce independent work unless you're told otherwise. It's real clear. So a couple things here. We're going to go to page number 2. Sorry, I have a spam. Just going to turn that off. So a couple of articles here I found. I don't want you to believe it's coming from me. I want documentation that this is really happening. So according to Catherine Mueller from Knowledge One Source, most students have cheated at least once during their school career. It is a constant trend over time and not just happening in the US. It's happening worldwide. Studies have examined the phenomenon, and what they have found is it peaks in high school. And I think you can understand why it peaks in high school, and your sister's in high school. This is when it counts. This is when every grade counts, your rank counts, and everything goes on your college resume. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, guess what time period most cheating happens? High school. Okay, so it's not the weaker students who succumb to cheating. It's the top ones. Does this surprise you? They are trying desperately to perform to meet their parents and teacher and college expectations, so they'll do anything they have to keep their grades up. So here they broke it down into categories. Elementary and middle school, why do they cheat? The main reasons are fear of being punished by a parent. Would mom and dad like you to come home with a C? How's that going to go across? Right? Okay, so kids feel pressure. Peers, don't your peers put a lot of pressure on you to compete? Yep. Humiliated by the teacher. I only had 2 students tell me that this happened, and I was like, really? So I want to address that with my edits, because I know that sometimes I can be really, really harsh with edits. So I tried to explain to my class via Meanie, I intentionally don't give students a grade. I don't know if you knew that. I have never given a grade in my class. And the reason is really important. I want kids to learn for the sake of learning, to want to just be better and learn from mistakes and take risks and be okay with mistakes, because that's the only way we really learn. That's why I don't give grades. Because studies show when a parent says, you're so smart and look at your grades, that actually makes a student more likely to cheat. You shouldn't be praising the grade. You should be praising the child's work ethic, right? What you're doing to learn. High school. Ooh, okay, let me just tell you, number one reason kids cheat, and I don't think this will surprise you, busy schedules. You get really busy in high school, and then you're taking all these advanced courses and juggling all of these things, and you can't do it all. So maybe students will justify cheating. That and the factor that it counts. This is for your record for college. University cheating, same reason. It's all about grades and lack of time, so busy schedules. We live in a society, we know right from wrong. Kids know that cheating is wrong. You know it's wrong. But this hyper valuation on performance and competition and success is what's causing kids today, your generation, to cheat. Do you feel pressure to perform? Does that make you anxious? Does that affect a child's self-confidence? Mm-hmm. And this is the perfect storm for cheating. And this is why we have the biggest problems. So I want you to go to the bottom of this page, and I'm going to give you the statistics. This is dated material, so I'm thinking it's worse since the pandemic. A 2012 Josephson Institute Center for Youth Ethics report revealed more than half of high school students admitted to cheating on a test. So that's 50%. This is, in 2012. 74% reported copying their friends' homework. Now, I don't know if you remember this, the iPhone was in 2015. So you seeing what I'm seeing here? I don't think these numbers, I think if we got current numbers, a survey of 70,000 high school students across the US between 2002 and 2015, this is really before the iPhone got big, 58% had plagiarized papers, 95% admitted to cheating in some capacity. What do you think it is today, post-pandemic and with cell phones?
Probably like 98%.
It's not good. It's not good, is it? Okay, so we're going to go to this page, why do students cheat? And this is the second article. First, students realize cheating is wrong. I know you do. They simply see themselves as good people, moral people, in spite of it. So how do you figure? Well, according to Dr. David Rettinger, a professor at the University of Mary Washington, executive director for the Center for Honor, Leadership, and Service, he believes students cheat, rationalize cheating, that they see are legitimate reasons that they should cheat. For example, if they don't see the value of an assignment, like my teacher gave us 200 math problems. Come on, that's overkill. They might say, that justifies cheating. I'm not going to do 200 math problems. Show me. I'll do 1 through 50. You do, 50 through 100. And everybody does 50 problems, and then we all share answers. That's probably what they're going to do, because 200 is extreme. Some cheat when they perceive an overemphasis on a test. For example, the teacher went over the material in class and said, you also need to read the textbook. Well, the test was all on the textbook, nothing they covered in class. That might make a child or a student angry. Like, okay, well, fine. She's going to do it that way. I'll just cheat, right? Students rationalize cheating because they see it has value. If you're trying to achieve perfection, like get into an Ivy League school, and a lot of my students' parents want you to do that, right? They may turn to cheating to find an edge to compete. A single bad test score can ruin your grade point average, via meaning. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Research has found students who receive praise for being smart, as opposed to praise for effort, are more likely to cheat. Again, you should praise someone for working hard, not for the grade that they got. And cheating is contagious. So if you have a class where a lot of the people cheat, which unfortunately are the highest ranked, usually your top 10 at a high school are the worst cheaters, and they help each other. So if you're in an environment like that, they say that's really hard to say no to. And then obviously technology, and any technology, iPad, computer, cell phone, it normalizes cheating. They may not even realize or acknowledge that it's cheating. They're saying, well, it's fair game. It gives me access to it, right? Go to the last page, page 4. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You ready? What if your doctor cheated in medical school and misdiagnosed you because he never learned important material? What if the pilot of the plane you were flying on cheated on his flight exam? How would you feel about him piloting your plane? What if your friend scored a perfect score on the SAT test, but you later found out she cheated, asking someone else to impersonate her and take the test for her? How would you feel the best player on your soccer team deliberately cheated during several games and was later made captain of the team? How about a star football player who's known for cheating in academics, cheating on the field? Is it a surprise when he cheats on his girlfriend? Think about how much you would trust a friend, say your college roommate, if you knew she wrote other people's essays and charged them an exorbitant fee. So here's the problem with cheating. If you get away with cheating now, you're going to be a cheater later on. It's going to be a habit. You know, I have Mahatma Gandhi's plaque in my room, and it says, your thoughts become your words, right? Your words become your actions become your habits. So think about that. Your actions, if you're cheating, it becomes your habit. Your habit becomes your character. You become a cheater. Your character becomes your destiny. Cheaters don't end up really well. Got to be honest with you, because cheaters eventually are caught. Agreed? So that's really kind of where our essay is going to go today. If someone cheats, any age, school age, and they get away with it, do you think they're going to do it again? Yeah. And not only will they do it again, meaning they're going to escalate. Maybe they cheat on a homework assignment and get away with it. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to cheat on the test this time, right? Okay. And they take bigger and bigger risks, maybe putting answers on their phone, on their notes app, maybe sharing their notes with their friends. Eventually, the student will be caught. And I do hope it is at school, because I think anytime a student suffers a consequence, it helps to stop the cheating. It teaches them a valuable lesson. So there could be two endings to, well, let me give you an example. A student cheated on his junior year English term paper and plagiarized. There's that dirty word. Miss Hensel does not like plagiarism in her writing class, does she? He copied an essay word for word from a student who submitted a paper a few years ago. When the English teacher who recognized the term paper and its content realized the student tried to pass it off as their own work, she gave him a 0 on the paper, which also caused him to fail the entire class. Yes, this punishment was harsh, but perhaps it was enough to grab the attention of the student and make him realize there are consequences when he cheats. So here's the problem. If you escalate your cheating, the stakes are higher. So for example, I don't know if you know this, Harvard had, this was about 5 years ago, had 10 students involved in a cheating scandal. I don't know if you know the military academy. I just went blank. Oh, come on, Mary. What is the name? West Point. Again, cheating scandal. Okay. They're expelled. They're kicked out. You know, you do everything and you get into Harvard and then you do something stupid like cheating and you get expelled from Harvard. That can change your whole life. Yeah. Is it worth it? So there are two endings. That student can be caught, suffer a punishment, and learn a lesson. And hopefully, you know, learn just to do the work on their own. Or this is going to be a pattern of behavior. And then they're caught, and it could be serious. They could be embezzling money from their boss, you know, taking money from the register at their job at the coffee shop. They could be skimming hours. This is what lawyers do sometimes. They say, I worked 20 hours when they worked 2. That's a very common business practice for cheaters. This can land them in prison. So we don't want the stakes to get that high, do we? Okay, so here's your outline. Here's what you're going to do today. And I really did map it out really well. So we're going to do another cause and effect. Kids really struggled with cause and effect in January, so I brought it back on purpose. Remember, when this happens, when someone cheats, they suffer a consequence, right? So body 1, students who cheat and try to justify their actions simply are unwilling to complete their work, and they should receive a grade that reflects the work they put in, don't you think? If you put nothing in, you should get a grade of 0. Agreed? So if a student copies his friend's answers, so here I'm just kind of getting you started. I think you've seen this at school. You can put any situation here. It could be, you know, innocent. Copy math answers. What would be a suitable punishment? Okay, it's not a harsh thing here. They shouldn't get full credit. They should get a 0. They should have to redo it, right? Say a student copies word for word from an online source, and you know what that dirty word is, plagiarism, right? Okay, it's not okay to plagiarize ever. And by the way, that's what the Harvard students did. They plagiarized. They copied an essay word for word that did not belong to them. And that's what got them expelled. They should get a 0. A student has a picture of the test. Ooh, right? Maybe they even share that picture with their friends. Isn't the teacher going to know? If you don't normally get 100 and like 10 people get 100 who don't normally get 100, she's going to know. 0. Okay. A logical punishment for a student who cheats is a failing grade. Do you think that's fair? Okay, so this is the easy one. The second body paragraph is where we get a little harsher here. Okay. Someone who cheats out others as well as themselves. So I understand when you just cheat yourself. Okay, but when you cheat out others, oh, well, you brought other people into the picture here, the punishment will be harsher. So if a student convinces their entire group to share answers in the science class, what should happen? Should one person be punished or all of them?
Probably one person.
All of them. You're complicit. You know what, Viomini? If you go into a bank and you know your friend's going to rob the bank, even though you didn't rob the bank, you're complicit. You get charged for a crime. They all did it with them. Nobody pulled their arm. Nobody made them cheat, correct? Everyone's guilty here. A teenager works for a coffee shop and tells their boss they worked their entire shift when they left early. They just cheated their boss. What do you think is going to happen to them?
Get fired.
A student turns in an essay their friend wrote for them. What consequence should they both face?
Plagiarism.
Okay, they should get a 0, but should they receive a bigger consequence than that? Yeah, that's pretty big. We're not talking a homework assignment here, Viomini, okay? So any form of punishment is necessary or the cheating will continue. So there's never a valid reason to justify cheating, which supports the belief that any student who cheats should face a failing grade, that's body 1, or serious consequences, body 2. So just make sure body 2 has more serious consequences than just a failing grade. Are we clear on that? Okay, so I didn't really give you a lead like I normally do. I will tell you that cheating is kind of normal. Young children have been known to cheat at board games or on the playground, right? Because they just want to win. But usually a parent will come in and say, you can't do that. No one will want to play with you, right? So kids know that cheating is wrong. I think we've pretty much hammered that into you. So what you want to answer here is, why do children cheat? Why has it become such a serious problem? And how do students justify cheating? And what makes it easier than ever for kids to cheat? Okay, and the conclusion, say something new here. Do you remember how I asked you, how would you like your pilot to have cheated on his aviation exam? How would you like your doctor to have cheated in medical school and then misdiagnosed you? That's the real application here. Those people who get away with cheating in school become cheaters in life. Does that make sense? Okay, got it? All right, you're good to go.
That is
Reads 2. I'm sorry.
Bye, Miss Hensel.
Bye, sweetie. Have a good one.